Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
This is Prime Crime Network.
A violent weekend in Cleveland. Shootings on both sides of town, some of them deadly. Around 10 last night, police found a man shot in the head in Cleveland's Kinsman neighborhood. He died at the hospital. Then, about 5 hours later, this time on the west side, another man found dead, also shot in the head.
The bloodshed over the last 24 hours here in the city of Cleveland is causing a lot of heartache on this Mother's Day. Among those murdered, 2 women, including a mother to 3 young children.
We have 3 total GW victims. 2 of them are not conscious, not breathing.
31-year-old Bianca Mason of Cleveland should have been celebrated on this Mother's Day. Instead, her 3 young children are left without a mother due to senseless gun violence. One family member who wanted to talk to us asked that we not show her face for safety reasons.
I feel like it's senseless, and I feel like somebody needs to talk, because if it was their loved one, they want somebody to stand up and speak, but it's senseless. She didn't deserve to die.
Shattered glass, a paramedic's glove, and a small memorial. All that remains on East 76th after 3 women, including Bianca, were gunned down in the street by what her family says was an argumentative man with a gun. Bianca died along with a second young woman. A third female was shot twice but survived.
On Mother's Day, like over nothing, like over a small altercation that you could have walked away from. Like, you supposed to be a man.
Family member and activist Dorothy Walwyn says the escalating violence is killing off a generation.
We need reinforcements in the streets. We need to start walking the streets to stop this stuff from happening.
Longtime activist James Box with Truth Ministries and Jim Brown's Peace Squad says the escalating gun violence is taking the life from these streets and sucking the life out of this city.
Don't nobody want to come and invest in a city with all this type of violence and bloodshed going on. Don't no parent want to move in a city or a community where she's going to send her son or daughter to school and don't know if he or she is going to come back at the end of the day.
And some members of the Black community say the mayor and the safety committee need to come up with a real safety plan, including boots on the ground, to take back the streets and silence the gunfire.
But while y'all trying to make up your mind on what y'all need to do, young people are dying continuously in this city.
Prime Crime Network.
It was exclusive.
You're looking at a government file mugshot of 33-year-old Essence LaFaye Cross of Detroit. She's facing major charges in the beating and robbery of an 81-year-old woman she was in charge of caring for on the 1000 block of Berkshire Street in Grosse Pointe Park, according to authorities. Cross is charged with assault with intent to murder, armed robbery, home invasion first degree, unlawful driving away of an automobile, and 4 counts of felony firearm.
The charges are appropriate. It was a horrific scene, a horrific incident that happened to this victim.
Prosecutors say it was just after 3 a.m. on Friday, March 5th, when Cross allegedly forced herself into the elderly woman's home and struck her in the head with a handgun before robbing her and taking off.
You know, I thank God she's a strong lady, and she's survived this, but she's got a long road ahead of her, so I'm glad we were able to take the person responsible into custody right away.
First responders rushed the 81-year-old to the hospital. Cops say she was able to give key information to investigators that helped generate leads, which guided them to the suspect vehicle at a house around I-94 and Van Dyke in Detroit. Officers stopped the car and got Cross after a short foot chase. Police have advice for families who have seniors under special care.
Make sure you know who's at your door, make sure you know who's on the phone, make sure you know who you're allowing into your house, and make sure that they have somebody they can call anytime, day or night, just to check and get advice from, is it okay?
Prime Crime Network.
It was exclusive.
The driver charged with causing a deadly wreck in Mulberry faced a judge this afternoon, and he will remain in custody because federal agents have placed a hold on him. Sheriff Grady Judd revealed today the man is in this country illegally.
Take a look. The 24-year-old not only doesn't have a driver's license, deputies say he doesn't have any proper documentation to be in the United States. Uran Canil is a native of Guatemala, they say. Deputies also say he was driving a Ford Expedition headed westbound on State Road 60 Tuesday at about 5:40 in the morning. He had 6 passengers in the vehicle with him when he allegedly turned into the path of a Chevy pickup truck driven by an 18-year-old Bartow High School student. Huron Canill's passengers weren't wearing seatbelts, and 2 of them, men aged 62 and 33 years old, were ejected from the SUV and killed. 4 others were taken to the hospital, with 2 in critical condition. The high school student is in stable condition. Elmer heard his charges today just before the sheriff bashed him for his behavior.
It was a horrific event, and it never would have happened if he were in his home country of origin. That's right. So we've had him rip from our 18-year-old graduating senior some of the most fun experiences of her entire life.
The sheriff's office says Canill saw the headlights of the student's car approaching, but thought he could safely make the turn. He admitted to not having a driver's license. He was treated for several minor injuries, but was released from the hospital soon after. Customs officials have placed a hold on him, meaning even once he answers for his charges in Polk County, he will face deportation. And again, they say he has been facing it for as long as 8 years since he was a juvenile. Coming up at 5, we're going to explain how bills the governor just signed today could impact the number of migrants who are here in the state of Florida, Chris.
A timely point, because you said this man here was working for a construction company, right? He was on his way to a construction site, at least.
Yeah, that is what they believe. They believe he was going to the construction site with several other people. As you saw, there were 6 people in that vehicle, obviously not safely strapped in. Several of them lost their lives, and now also we're told that that high school student is at TGH with what I'm told is a leg that is broken very badly.
Prime Crime Network.
It was exclusive.
New images out tonight of 2 men identified as persons of interest linked to Saturday's shooting at a home in Rockdale County. This was along Fountain Crest Drive south of Covington. When officers arrived, they found a 45-year-old man who was not conscious and struggling to breathe. He had been shot in the head 3 times and at last check in critical condition. The name of the victim has not been released. If you have any information which could help law enforcement, you're asked to call
Prime Crime Network.
It was exclusive.
At least one of these robberies was captured on video. 10 armed robberies within a 30-minute period on the northwest side. And Chicago police believe the same group of robbers was behind all of them. One of the robberies happened at about 7:40 Sunday morning on Dickens near Kildare Avenue. The organization Belmont Craig United provided us with this video. Police say 4 robbers got out of a gray Hyundai Elantra armed with semi-automatic handguns. They walked up to their victims and demanded their belongings. Police described the same circumstances in all of the cases. The crime spree started at 7:20 a.m. at North Avenue and Springfield. Police in their community alert say the suspects were 18 to 25 years old. They wore black hooded sweatshirts and black ski masks, and they held up victims who were standing on the sidewalk or in the process of parking their cars. After stealing the victims' belongings, the robbers got back into the Elantra and took off. The group also hit Pulaski and Wabunsea, 2 blocks from the North Avenue location. Some of the robberies happened just 2 minutes apart. Now, here are all 10 places where the robberies happened. Again, the first one at 7:20 a.m. and the crime spree ended at 7:50 in neighborhoods including Hermosa, Logan Square, and Humboldt Park. Police report no injuries in these robberies. Area 5 detectives are investigating these cases, and they are seeking tips from the public that might help in the investigation.
Thank you for watching Prime Crime Network, your source for urban and suburban and around the world news. Hit the subscribe, like, and the notification bell. And check us out on PrimeCrimeNetwork.com.